Hello there, and welcome to A Normal Meets a Nerd with me, Dylan Evans, a very normal person who loves asking those weird questions that you will absolutely definitely want to know the answer to.
And me, Darragh Ennis, the nerd you wished was sitting at the next table in the pub, so you could just ask him, which is right? Which one of us is right, or are we both wrong? And chances are you're both wrong. Yeah.
Did modern humans breed with Neanderthals, and are there any alive today? Hmm.
Yes, and kind of are the answer to those two.
There
Um,
you go, chop chop.
so it depends on your race, really. This one.
Okay.
So if we talk about non-Africans, so people not like descended from people from the African continent, the answer
Hmm.
is yes, a very strong yes. So about 45, 50,000 years ago, people moved out of Africa, were into Europe, into Eurasia, and Neanderthals were around. They still were, they're not gone that long.
Oh wow.
And they disappeared if, tens of thousands of years ago. But if you look at genetics, so we're able to get genetic material. If you look at the genetics of non-Africans, a give or take 1 to 2% of most people's genes in their genome are Neanderthal.
Oh wow. That's quite high. I didn't think it'd be that
Yeah,
high.
yeah, give or take. Like it varies person to person, it varies country to country, but it mostly varies to depending on like basically your human pedigree, where you've come from. And in
Hmm.
non-African, so the ones that left Africa back in the day, like a very large amount of them would have mated or interbred with Neanderthals then.
Wow.
So
So
that they did.
am I right in thinking Neanderthals were like kind of big foreheads,
They had a
hunched?
ridged forehead. They probably weren't hunched. They were physically a bit like more imposing than us. Slightly
Oh right,
shorter, I think. Like they were
stockier in my
stockier,
head.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But like they've done quite a lot of research on this. They were like really talented hunters. They had tools and all that. Like they were basically very little different from Homo sapiens. There
Hmm.
wasn't all that much difference between them. Um,
So what happened then?
they just died out. There was a lot of pressure. Humanity as a whole went down to a few thousand individuals not that long ago.
How long ago?
Like tens of thousands of years ago. There was there
Oh
was
wow.
there was a point where there's a real genetic bottleneck. They did a paper on this analyzing DNA and stuff, and it's not 100% certain, nothing ever is, but they're reasonably sure it went down to a very small group of individuals at one point, all humans.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's like, they really did almost die out, but like Neanderthals didn't quite make it. The Ice Age didn't help, probably,
Hmm.
things like that. But the interesting thing is, if you have someone whose ancestors didn't leave Africa,
Yeah.
they don't have Neanderthal DNA as a general
At
rule.
all, or
They,
pretty
usually,
much.
usually zero.
Oh
Now,
wow.
not all of them, because there's going to be mixing in the modern world, especially. But if you have, especially people from tribal populations in Africa who've been there for hundreds of generations, they
Hmm.
don't have Neanderthal DNA. A lot of sub-Saharan Africans don't have Neanderthal DNA.
But we probably do.
But yeah, more than likely, almost all Europeans and Eurasians do.
I'd have never said that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so they're still knocking around in our cells. They haven't
Yeah.
quite gone, but there is nobody who is 20% Neanderthal. That doesn't
That's
exist.
what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Like, who's the
So
highest?
yeah, there's not one grouping that's more Neanderthal than others, really. Like
Hmm.
it varies from, I think, 1 to 2% of the genome.
Fair enough. There you go. They're
Mhm.
still knocking about. They're
Yeah.
still there. This is one of my favorite segments of the show. Shower thoughts.
Yes.
Those weird shower thoughts that you have in the shower, and we're going to quickly discuss them.
Yeah, these are
Hmm.
ones that we don't need to have a long chat about, but and we really like these, but they have to be weird. They can't
Yeah,
these can't be clever questions. These have to be stupid questions.
yeah.
There's no such
So
thing as a stupid question, but in this case there is.
yeah, so get them in, get them in, get on shower thoughts.
Yeah.
Right, first one. Should ketchup be kept in the fridge? Oh, it's a controversial one.
It's really not. The answer is no.
Well,
Okay, you keep things in the fridge to preserve them. That's what it's for.
mm-hmm,
Or to keep them cold if you like them cold. So cold
mm-hmm.
drinks, whatever. Nobody should want cold ketchup.
No, 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 no. I half disagree. I half disagree with this. A really hot bacon sandwich and that slightly cold tomato sauce kind of works. It does.
For
Try it.
4-degree ketchup is never good for anybody. And it dries it out. It gets harder. It doesn't flow as well. All this kind of stuff. The viscosity of ketchup is very closely tested, especially Heinz. They have a flow rate that it should be, and that's at room temperature. And also it doesn't go off. It takes years to go off. Like honestly, years and years and years and years, because it's got so much sugar in it. It's basically jam, and
This is controversial.
it should not be kept in the fridge. And if someone hands me cold ketchup to go onto hot food, I will be really angry. That is just
really
bad.
angry.
It's a bad
Punch
thing.
them.
So, yeah, this really thick, like gloopy, not flowing, dried out cold ketchup. Never, never in the
So
fridge.
ketchup never in the fridge.
Never in the fridge.
You're gonna upset some people. There's a clip in that. There's a controversial clip in that. Honestly. This one is from my little brother, who is training to be a doctor. So he's the smart one of the family, and this has been driving me mad. Right? Is a horse a vehicle?
No.
There you go.
A vehicle is a device. It's not a mode of transport. It's a thing.
So it's got to be a device.
It's got to be a thing. You can have a horse-drawn vehicle where the horse is the power for the vehicle, but it's the carriage or the buggy. That's the vehicle, not the horse.
Right.
The motor is not the vehicle. The car is the vehicle.
There we go. See, my argument was like I could ride a dog. Is a dog a vehicle? You ride ostriches. Is an ostrich a vehicle?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, it isn't.
Yeah, no, it has to be a device made for transport, and that's all it is.
There you go.
A hovercraft is a vehicle. A helicopter is a vehicle. A horse, definitely not.
There you go. Shut up, Jude. There you go. That's his name. What colour are windows? That's a good one.
It is, but it's a too narrow a question. If you just mean the normal windows in your house, they have no color. They are transparent.
So no colour.
Or very, very little. Yeah. There's almost no color. If you're talking about, say, a stained glass window, depends on what they put in the glass.
How does fly spray kill flies? Sorry to any flies watching.
Well, I don't understand why this is even a question. It's poisonous. That's how it kills flies.
But what? Like not how, but like
depends on what it is. Depends on what the active ingredient is.
Would that kill us? Like if I went,
it's not going to be very. It's not going to be very good for you.
But it wouldn't kill us.
It depends on what it is. You have to remember, any poison is done by dose, so it depends on how much of it you take in. Some pesticides only work on invertebrates and won't really affect us, but most of the time, it's just poison.
That's why I never use fly spray. That's not my.
If you really, really want to kill flies, traps are probably better, or get rid of whatever's attracting them, because usually it's food.
See what? But I've got like this. It's like a device I got from Amazon the other year. It's like a tennis racket, but shocks. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
That's not. It's fun, but like sometimes I feel like I'm at Wimbledon, I get a good swipe and it sparks. Though it's really weird. But if you go on a bit of a combo, there's a couple in your house.
Yeah, no,
that's my way of killing flies.
I just open the window and let them fly out, But
but if they push the luck,
if you really do want to kill them and you don't want to use something toxic, some fly sprays aren't toxic, so they gum up their spiracles and stuff, so they can't breathe, or just use hairspray.
Oh, really? Would that do the same thing?
It'll make them go solid. They won't be able to fly.
You can just flick them out.
Yeah. Honestly, the best thing to do is just to make sure there's nothing in your house that attracts them, and if there's a few flies in, open the windows. They'll get out eventually.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. What caused the Big Bang? Nice and easy one there. Nice and easy.
It's rare I'm going to say this. I don't know. No idea. No one knows.
That must be a first. What I don't know what episode we're on here.
I couldn't even find this out. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of hypotheses, but no one really knows. Like that point that far back is really hard to get your head around. It's like all of the energy and matter in the world suddenly exploding. I don't think anybody genuinely knows.
Will we ever know, do you think?
Well, we can't travel backwards in time, as we've established previously on the podcast. I think we'll get better ideas, and there'll be other hypotheses, and people will have, theories and stuff, but it's very, very hard to prove. That kind of thing remains quite, not practically and experimentally tested because how could you test it? How could you
Yeah, it
possibly
doesn't make
test it?
sense. Yeah.
So I think they'll probably get better and better ideas that might be closer and closer to the truth, but I don't think anyone will definitively prove anything, personally.
Fair enough. There
Yeah.
you go. That was always going to be a tough one to
Yeah.
answer that. Why are people taller now? Because back in the day,
Yeah. They were small, yeah, like
they were
really small.
tiny.
Yeah,
Mm.
they were. They weren't as tiny as people think. Like a lot of people look at doorways in medieval buildings. A lot of the time, stuff like that was small on purpose to like prevent heat escape and things. But they
Oh,
were
fair.
smaller. They were definitely smaller, you know. And there's two limits, main limits on height. One is genetic. So, you know,
Mm.
I'm quite tall, and that's largely down to genetics. My children will probably be tall because my wife's tall as well. That happens. But
Yeah.
the other limit is nutritional.
Oh,
So
yeah, because we're eating more and
yeah, so
would it be more
eat
protein?
more and better, more protein, more calcium, more dairy, that kind
Mm.
of thing. So there's if you look at generational height, there's a generation I think in Germany that were young at the end of World War One that were shorter than other generations because there was so little food when they were little.
Oh, I've never
Um,
thought of it like that, like
yeah,
the social aspect of it and stuff.
yeah. So there is social and nutritional aspect. So I'm taller than both my parents by quite a bit. You know,
Yeah, I'm
way
taller than my parents.
way better diet, but we will eventually reach a point where that no longer matters. We'll reach a point where genetics rule it. Um, and I'm
Will,
I'm not
will
sure
we
we're
keep growing
no,
theoretically?
no. I think
With the
there
average
is
person not going to be 7 foot.
no. I don't think so because we've reached a point now where the availability and variety of food that we have would mean that there will be a lot of those people around already. We'll probably keep growing a
Mm.
little bit, but I would say, you know, people who are 7 foot, like 2 meters tall, will be an anomaly. They'll that won't be normal. But I think the average height will keep creeping up. Like the Dutch are the tallest country in the world,
Mm.
and that's a mixture of they've got sort of South American to the colonies came in with quite tall tribes people
Oh,
and a mixture of that, and they've also got a really good lifestyle and diet, and you know their economy is fairly their poverty makes people small,
right.
you
Yeah.
know, so egalitarian countries tend to have taller people.
Mm.
People who are genuinely poverty stricken tend to have bad diets, and they tend to be small. But yeah, it's people are taller because they eat better, largely.
There you go. There you go.
But
That's
there
interesting.
were
Yeah.
big people. Like if you go to the Tower of London museum and you look at the armor of some of the knights from like the 1500s, some of them were like 6'6". You know, some of them were
They
monsters.
must have been like giants. I
It,
know that's not that
it,
long ago. George Washington was seen really tall for the time as well, wasn't
yeah,
he?
and like Napoleon, they kept saying was small. He wasn't. He was like 5'7". I think they said he was, which was pretty average at the
I
time.
was going to say, yeah.
That's short for now, but at the time that was pretty average. So the
Mm.
average was down by, you know, it wasn't head and shoulders down. Like I'm 1 meter 80 something, and like if I went back 300 years, people would go, "Oh, he's tall," but it wouldn't be
But you
like
wouldn't be like,
I wouldn't.
oh,
Yeah. Oh my god, he's absolutely massive. Crouchy now.
giant
If
man.
Crouchy went back, they'd be going, "Oh my god." But yeah,
That's what we do now. But
yeah.
dodgy next question. Shower thoughts. Do insects feel love? Mm.
Probably not.
What? Well, animals, yes. Would you say like other mammals and stuff?
We have this thing that we do, humans. It's called anthropomorphizing. It's making things human in our head or giving them human aspects,
Yeah.
and we do this a lot. It's we do it with our pets. We see
Yeah.
things that aren't really there. So the ability to process emotions needs a very complicated brain. Um,
Okay.
you know, it just does. So I used to study insect brains quite a bit. They've 10,000 neurons. We've got billions. It's very, very unlikely that they had any sort of emotional depth at all. Very, very unlikely. Like they have instincts and they, you know, they want to mate, they want to eat, they'll react to stimulus, all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. But you really do have to get to, you know, mammals, octopus, a few other animals that have like complicated enough nervous systems to have real emotional depth.
So
So
there's
yeah,
no room for love in there. No.
no, well, it's
They
difficult.
don't seem like they do. I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
There will be like, attachments, familial attachments. There will be tribal or, pack attachments, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But calling it love is putting a human idea onto an animal, which isn't right. I would say more complicated animals probably have something analogous to love. It's like love, and it's how they feel things, and they become emotionally connected to things. Because like, dogs definitely do. They become
Mm.
emotionally connected to people. You'd like, and how they treat them and stuff
Yeah.
impacts on how they react and all that kind of thing. So yeah, insects probably not. I had this actually because I keep bees. That's what I do for kicks because I'm that kind of
I
a
don't
person.
know. I don't know how you do this. Whenever
Yeah.
you put a TikTok up or something, I get.
But I
Ugh.
posted the thing where I got a queen bee in the post. It's
Yeah, I seen this.
they come in
Mad.
a little plastic container, a queen with 5 or 6 workers and a load of sugar, and they post it over. It gets popped in the post, arrives the next day, and a lot of people are going, "Oh, that's so cruel! It's so cruel! How could you do that? It's so cruel." They're not thinking like an insect; they're thinking like a human. So
Mm.
the conditions that they are in are really similar to a hive. A beehive
I was gonna say, yeah.
is incredibly crowded. It's dark. There's insects crawling all over each other.
Mm.
There's very little space. If there's more space, they actually fill it in with wax. They don't like space. They like a very particular
Oh.
distance. So there's a thing called the bee space in a beehive. It's like a certain space in between each frame, and if you have to have it that amount. And like they were all going, "Oh, it's so cruel, it's so cruel." I'm like, "Look, I literally studied insect behavior all my life. I'm telling you now, it's not true." And like, "Oh, you're so
But it's dark in there.
yeah, yeah. How could you do that? It's not natural." I'm like, "Oh, don't go down the natural route, please." But yeah, so insects don't have the same brains as us. They don't have the same inputs as us, and they certainly don't have emotions in the same way that we do. They
Fair
get
enough.
like they react like bees send out a pheromone and they get
Mm.
angry. They're not really angry. They're just reacting to the pheromone because they feel the hive is under threat, that kind of thing. But they do change their state and their mental state. But saying they feel love is a bit of a stretch.
Mm. How is the queen bee, may I ask?
She's still alive, which is good.
Oh,
Because a lot of the
sick.
time when you introduce a new queen, the old bees don't really like her, but they've
Mm.
they've they've taken her into their heart, and she's having
Oh,
lots and lots of
oh,
babies.
into her heart. They love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They love her.
they, her pheromones are making them do what she tells them.
Which is more useful, a chocolate fireguard or a square-wheeled bike?
Oh, this is a late in the pub kind of thought rather than a shower thought,
Yeah,
isn't it?
this is the last. This is the last pint. I'll have one more. I'll have one more.
Well, it depends what you mean by useful, I suppose.
Mm.
If we're talking about what those things were designed to do, then a chocolate fireguard.
Is more useful.
Well, it could perform its function that it's meant for a short period of time.
Yeah, true. But
Depending,
with a
like if
square
it's
wheel, you kind of get a
you
few.
can't roll a square. You just can't. And like you like think about it. If you put down the pedal on a flat square, it wouldn't move.
No, it wouldn't.
You'd
Would
have
it?
to get off and like
You could with a triangle. Triangle would work.
yeah, or a
It'd be
hexagon.
awful.
A hexagon
Yeah.
maybe might work, but yeah, a square just wouldn't because 90 degree just wouldn't tilt. You'd have to
Mm,
absolutely force it. Whereas a chocolate fireguard, I guess you could probably use it for a minute before it melts.
mm.
And if you don't want it to go on the actual use it's for, you could eat it afterwards.
Yeah, drink it. Chocolate
Yeah.
soup again. Back to chocolate soup.
How would you like to come and see us do this in person?
Ah,
We in person, let's do it. I
yes.
think we need to do a live show. So we need to know, would people be interested? Would they like to
Mm,
come along? And would they be
mm.
able to provide us with bonkers questions from the audience? So let us know
Yeah,
in the comments if you'd be interested in coming to a live show, and we might try and set one up later in the year.
that would be really good to get the crowd asking questions.
And
You're
we
live. That would be
and
great.
we might get them to answer some of our questions.
Yeah,
Flip
true.
it around.
We'll flip it. Yeah. That would be
and
great.
and do some audience participation. Hands up if you think this, hands up if you think that, and then
Mm.
say, actually, you're all wrong. It's this.
We should probably finish it. You should do a little quiz as well. It'd be rude
Yeah,
not
yeah. I
to.
think I would. I think we'd do a little
Mm.
quiz, and I do a quiz with like nothing but trick questions.
That would be great.